This lesson is going to explain the drawing. We have several interior elevation drawings, and this idea of dropping in interior elevation symbols and then collecting on a sheet what they point to. So I'm going to abbreviate certain parts of the process. For instance, we're going to skip over the creating of a kitchen, which is non-trivial, but I deal with that in a separate lecture. So I'm going to drop in a kitchenette, right, and a wall cabinet just to illustrate what I'm going to do with the interior elevations. So this shouldn't be more than 20 minutes. I hope not. Let's create the sheet. And I'm going to call this, it corresponds to A-9.2 on your drawings. It's the second of the interior elevations. And let's just finish up a couple things in the accounting office fit out that we haven't done. We need doors in all the rooms. So we go in and just place these I'm going to put one in this conference room, even though we've made this a curtain wall. Then closets, we'll ignore that other in the codes. The closets, we'll ignore that for now. So we're going to load from the Autodesk families because we don't have access to most of the. I'm going to simply search for kitchenette. I don't recommend using this on a regular basis. It's not a substitute for actually designing a kitchen, but for purposes of illustrating what I intend to do here. And so in order to place it in the drawing, we have to locate it under specialty equipment and drag an instance of it in the model. The space key allows you to rotate this. So I'm going to place it roughly here. Okay, I haven't placed it very carefully. Now I'm going to place the interior elevation symbols. View, elevation, switch to interior elevation. That gives me this round. So we need a view. We need to look toward the kitchen. We need to look north and south in this area. We need to be inside each conference room. Right? Dragging this around, it tries to align perpendicular to walls, so you got to be careful with that. that symbol. For purposes of what I intend to create, I need a north view here. And I'm actually going to take that scope line and move it through the casework in the kitchen. Okay, it's not unusual to do that with an interior elevation symbol. So this view is going to look toward the kitchen. That's going to allow us to place our wall cabinet. So let's load wall cabinet. I'm always confused by this interface. We have to cancel out of this. So casework. And I'm going to load a wall, an upper double door wall cabinet. Right? And we need one to correspond with the width of the doors here, 2, 3. So we have 24 and 3, 27 inches. I'm going to go to casework and drag in the 27-inch wall cabinet. Place a couple of them here. We need a 24-inch one over the dishwasher. So place them approximately, and then later you can align them. The distance from the underside the cabinet to the countertop's got to be 18 inches typically. So let's make that. Let's create our alignments. Align to the underside of that. Align to the underside of that. Align to that edge. Center, can I grab that guy? Yep. And then to that edge there. Okay, so there's our abbreviated kitchen elevation. Back to the plan view. Okay, you'll see they appear in overhead lines in that view. Got to be careful that when this is a wall to be demoed, and when we're placing things on a wall, you got to be careful that your host is not an undesired wall. So the wall we actually want to host the wall cabinets is that plumbing wall. And so we have to either modify the visibilities of that wall through phasing, or remove it in advance, or otherwise deal with it. So, but anyway, I just wanted to call attention to that. So we have this elevation is going to explain this area out here. We could load some furniture in the area. Let's go ahead and do that. Insert load Autodesk family and furniture systems. I think we have, yeah, these boring cubicles. So let's bring some of those furniture systems. Cubicle 96 by 96. These are too big. Let's change the type here. I'm just going to quickly duplicate it, say 96 by 96, 72 by 72. So that'll give us 6 feet sides. Panel height, panel line length, 3 feet and 3 feet. Will that do? Okay, that'll do for now. Just gonna mirror that. And you can take these and move them there and then mirror those. Whoops. Take these guys and mirror them north-south. So we have some furniture out here. You can put a chair in there if you want. We have chairs. Desks, no chairs. Let's load a chair. Insert. What are this family? Furniture. Work chair. That'll do. One, two, three, four. Okay. So we have these elevations. That one's looking that way, right? And it's cutting through the kitchen where we place the scope line, right? We have this rather unflattering view of this area. Always, when you're creating these other views, you'll notice the abbreviated visual representation, some of the stuff here, and it's because Revit defaults to a coarse detail level. Change that to fine. Right? We don't have ceilings in here, and that's why this is all you see. Okay, go to sheet, and when you create the interior elevations, incidentally, Revit creates a category for them, separate there. So we're looking at elevation 2C. Let's bring these elevations into the sheet. So 2C, was it 2C? 3C? 3C. 3C goes here. Kitchen elevation is 2A. We need that in the drawing as well. These are the wrong scale right now, by the way. We want, typically when you draw interior elevation, you enlarge these. So these want to be, bump them up to 3/8 inch scale. 1, 2, I think we have that elevation view as well on that sheet. But since it's not important to what I intend to show here, I'm going to leave it out. So we have these two drawings. There's another south elevation on this side. Okay, that's a view of the kitchen. So the notion, and that should be fine, the notion that I want to introduce is the idea of the call out. So I want to zoom in and explain in more detail the workmanship associated with the casework, the kitchen casework. Okay. So I would activate this view and create another view, this time using the call out tool, and that allows me to drag a box around an area. All right, it's going to create a separate drawing. So I want a larger view of that section, and you'll see that here it's explained as elevation 3C, the call out of that. I can drag this, oops, need to deactivate the view, and I can drag it into the sheet here. So this, we're representing this at 1.5" scale. I'm going to crop it a bit, bounce scale up to 1.5". Oops, not 3/8, 1.5 inches. Right? Oop. The view can't be active when you're moving viewports around. So there's an enlarged view of that thing that we want to explain. And let's quickly peek at that drawing. I'm going to pull it up. But let me continue this. So there's my interior elevations of the open work area, which doesn't have ceilings yet, and a call out saying that I want to look more carefully at the kitchen, at this kitchen area, right? I may want to sort of, okay, deactivate that view and cropped it a little more tightly. We'll talk about the viewport crop in more detail later. You'll notice that having created this call out, right, and placed it on a sheet, it now populates the sheet number and drawing number there. That's a really convenient feature. Now I want to call attention to, I want to activate this view, and I want to further call out a transition from tile to carpet, which is going to happen somewhere over here. And that's a drawing that I want to explain on a sheet called Details. I'm going to create that now, if I haven't already. No, I didn't. New sheet. And this is going to be A-5. I'm going to call it Details. And I'm going to drag that call out into this sheet and place it up here. Notice that it enlarged it to 3 inches to the foot. I am going to, in order to finally fully annotate these drawings, you have to do that with detail components. This is only creating contextualizing the places where I intend to look more carefully at that part of my space. In this case, right, you'll see that this callout becomes drawing 1 on sheet A5. This callout becomes drawing 3 on this same sheet that I'm on, A92. There's quite a bit of work that needs to be done explaining and annotating all these, but the process of creating this sheet is what's important. And by week 11, which is where we are right now, we're actually a little further along than that. You should be able to do this. So this will be saved as a lesson in beginning interior elevations and callouts.